Hey there, it's Ken coming to you live from DYC Studios in the heart of Germany. And now I'm not on camera today, but that is okay. You're going to see a video of me as well here shortly. But I want to share something with you special that I did this summer, and that was I was a speaker at the Adobe For Education Summit, specifically the pre-conference that took place on July 27th. Now, my topic was the value of self-promotion, and to me, it doesn't matter if you're an artist, a creative, an educator, or work in any kind of field. It's important to promote who you are, what you do, your knowledge, your skills, and your talents. Thus, I thought this was an important topic to share with you guys, so I got permission from Adobe to share this video. I hope you guys enjoy it. I want to send a special thank you out to Clara and Leona as well. They did an amazing job putting together this two-day, well, practically three-day conference if you count the pre-conference event together. And it was really inspiring, and I also took part as a moderator for 2 roundtables, which was also exciting. Unfortunately, I'm not going to share those videos with you, but I think you'll enjoy this video. So here we go, and enjoy.
We're going to move into the next portion of our very special pre-conference summit, which is going to be our creativity talk. So these are 6 TED Ed style talks that are 12 minutes each. So each person will have a total of 12 minutes with a 3-minute transition, and we'll stick to my at-home clock here. And without further ado, I would love to introduce our very first creativity talk speaker, who is Adobe Education leader, Kenneth Shinaberry. So Kenneth, I'll go ahead and bring you on the screen here. How are you doing today?
Doing great. How are you? Hope you can hear me.
Yep, I can hear you great. I can see your presentation, and I'll let you take it from here.
All right. So today I'm going to talk to you guys about the value of self-promotion. It's never too early or too late to start. But first, who is Ken? And I think this is really important as well, too, because this will kind of give you an idea of how I got to where I am and why promotion and networking and all that is very important. So besides being full of surprises, and hanging upside down, I have had quite an adventure thanks to promoting my talents. So here's a little bit about my journey. For 13 years, I worked in film, television, advertising in New York City. In fact, here you can see me on the set of the Survivor finale at the Ed Sullivan Theater in New York, which used to be where David Letterman was as well. That led me to moving to Europe, and I began working in marketing and PR with companies such as Adobe and Wacom. And I ended up becoming a conference speaker. And guess what? I'm at another conference here today. Awesome. And becoming a published writer as well. But most importantly, I am an educator. I started out in New York as an educator and instructor at Ezra, which is a premier film academy based in Paris that allows their students to come to New York and study for a year or a month during the summer. I also was a lecturer and instructor for the Adobe Education Exchange. Back when they were doing live classes. And currently, I teach online marketing at the Digital Career Institute in Dussel. And we have I think 6 new campuses now. So we are growing massively. All right. So because I learned how to promote my work and network, exciting things began to happen, like all of this. I started producing events for Behance Portfolio Reviews here in Germany and featured over 44 plus creatives as speakers. Became an influencer for the Adobe Influencer Program in the DACH region, so Germany, Switzerland, and Austria. Became an Adobe ACP, AEL, ACE, and now I'm an Adobe Creative Careers Mentor on Discord, which is pretty awesome. I produced 2 conferences for Adobe in Germany as well, too, with 825 people in the audience. Became the lecturer, like I said, for Adobe Generation Professional and Adobe edX. Thank you, Greg. That really rocked my career, by the way. Became a content creator for the Adobe Abendschule, and now I'm streaming live on Behance for the Adobe AEL. I'm also a Wacom evangelist. Curator. I was curator of the Wacom Gallery on Behance from 2014 to 2020. Wrote for Advanced Photoshop and Photoshop Creative magazines, and I'm an influencer for BenQ, TechSmith, XP Pen, Clip Studio Paint, and Sense Labs. All right, so let's have some fun. I'm going to give you guys 1 minute to type in chat. I do have the chat box up. You have 1 minute to type in chat why you love art. Quick, go start typing. Let's see if I can see some chat in there. Let's see if anybody's going to be typing. hopefully. Maybe I won't be able to see the chat after all. But anyways, I think we all love our, oh, right. Okay, there's, wow, somebody's got something going on. Okay, but the reason why I asked you guys to do this, and I'm sure you guys go, oh, hey, guess what? Kevin said freedom. Diane says art is life. I see expressive. Oh, wow. This is just going off. This is what I love. Meditation allows students choice. Wow. Joy. It's drop backwards expression. All right, guys, that's see, maybe there's a little bit of lag time, but it started flowing. Now, you know, a lot of teachers do this in the very beginning of their classes, and they're like, why? That's what you want to do. You just want to get to know everybody. What I wanted to prove something to you guys. You guys are your own marketing and public relations manager, and you have been your own marketing and public relations manager since your first day of school, you know, going out on the playground, learning how to market yourself and make friends. So now all you got to do is take that and hone those skills and get those skills raised up as well. The second reason is because knowing your audience is key to promoting your work. All right. Now, normally I share quotes like at the end of my speech, but I feel this is important to get this one out. Do you guys all know who this is right here, this guy? I think you guys do, right? That's Andy Warhol, and that leads me to my favorite quote of all time. And that is, don't think about making art, just get it done. Let everyone else decide if it's good or bad, whether they love it or hate it. While they're deciding, make more art. And now the reason I say this quote is amazing, and I tell this quote to every creative that I meet, is that, you know, think about this. If there's 25 people that view your artwork, you know, and let's say, you know, 10 of them, you know, aren't into your artwork, but you know, 15 of them are. That's great. That's dandy. Now, out of that 15, 10 people really like it. You know, 5 people start sharing your artwork. Okay, awesome. People are getting you out there, right? And then, you know, guess what? Maybe 2 people really, really love your artwork and they get in contact with you. One of those people is interested in hiring you for a job. All it takes is one person to discover your talent. And this is what draws me into quote number 2, which comes from me. You never know when or where your talent will be discovered. Now, think about that. You know, if you're not getting your work out there, you're just sitting on your hands, and that's a lot of missed opportunities. So it's important to get yourself out there and start promoting who you are. All right, wait. Oh, no, there's questions. How do I get started? Well, don't worry. I got some ideas for you guys right here today. And the first one is to build an online portfolio. And guess what? You can do that. Adobe has 2 places where you can build portfolios, and that is Behance and Adobe Portfolio. You don't even have to be a web designer. You can just start throwing projects up and really getting them out there. And if you find me on Behance, you'll see that I kind of have a way to do it. I tell a little bit about my projects, and I show the process as well, too. So definitely look me up on Behance for that reason. If you have questions about how to set up projects on Behance or Adobe Portfolio, send me a message. I'll hook you up. I'll give you some ideas. All right, number 2 is share your work via social media. Just remember to treat social media channels like a garden. Now, you're like, Ken, what do you mean? Social media is a garden? Well, think about this. Every plant in a garden, whether it be corn or asparagus or strawberries, I don't know, you know, all needs a certain amount of light, certain amount of water, a certain amount of nurture and care. Now think about that with your social media. Every channel is different. Each one needs different things. So you really need to get out there and really take care of each one. And the other thing that makes it more like a garden is, you know, some people will eat vegetables and some people will eat fruit, you know, not everybody eats everything. You know, think of that kid that doesn't like asparagus or broccoli, you know, so get out there, try the different channels and try to promote yourself on there. And just remember, you know, what works for one person may not work for you. So it's all about experimentation. All right, number 3, join LinkedIn. So when I say join LinkedIn, it's not just like joining it and getting on there. Get on there, network, comment, create content that sets you apart and makes you look like an expert, and share. And most importantly, join the conversations. And note, if your students are young, there are other places where they can get out there and start showing their work. And just think, you know, TikTok has now got resumes on there. Detroit Pistons is hiring people putting TikTok resumes up. How crazy is that? So, you know, hey, all these channels are changing. There's different ways for you to get out there and really promote yourself no matter what age you are. Number 4, attend events and meet other creators, just like this one. Hey, but when we get through Corona, there's other places where you can meet artists too. Behance portfolio reviews. Remember, I used to host those. I said that in the beginning. And we used to have about 100 people in attendance. In fact, I even spoke at a Behance portfolio review in Italy. Wow, how cool is that? That's pretty awesome, right? Now, that brings us to number 5. Join the Adobe Creative Careers server on Discord. And this is great for students. This is really great for students no matter what their age is. They can connect with their peers and there's mentors, and they can get feedback. That is awesome, and I can tell you Discord is primarily younger than other places as well too. So, this is a great start for people. And I guarantee a lot of your younger students who are gamers are going to know what Discord is. All right. So putting yourself out there, of course, can be scary, but here's a little ways to overcome your fears. So number 1, break the silence, because you got to think about this. It's not just scary and fearful. Some people suffer from imposter syndrome, and that's hard to get through. So break the silence. Knowing you're not the only one out there with fear can help you regain your voice. Saying that, I was nervous about putting myself out there as well as a creative, and even connecting with like higher up people. And if you go to my LinkedIn right now, I'm connected to over 6,000 plus people with like studio heads from different gaming studios, and CEOs and CMOs and CTOs of ad agencies. Just get out there, raise your voice, break the silence. Number 2, strive for excellence. Know that every day you can increase your skills and knowledge. Just think about that. If you work and practice every day, your skills increase 1%. How much is that by the end of the year? That's crazy, right? All right. Number 3, visualize success. Think about where you want to be and create a plan how to get there. Planning is everything. Trust me, I work in marketing. Planning is everything. All right, going to fly through this. I see there's only about 4 minutes left. So strive for excellence, validate your accomplishments, and make sure you pat yourself on the back. All right, you can also do a SWOT analysis, which means list your strengths, to seek out what opportunities that there are out there, list your weaknesses. That way you can know what you need to practice on, and think about the threats, what obstacles you need to get through. All right. Other ways to promote your talents is competitions. Entering competitions and contests can help you gain exposure. Places, create an online shop like Redbubble, TeePublic, or Society6, and you make a little cash money on the side. Vlogging, blogging, get on YouTube, put yourself out there, And one more thing, don't forget your time and talent and knowledge and skills have value. Do not undersell yourself and your abilities. Do not let people treat you any other way. All right, guys? And if you spend 5 to 30 minutes a day promoting your work and networking, I guarantee that doors will start to open. So now get out there and get out there and share your artwork today. So ways that you guys can connect with me on LinkedIn at K Shinneberry, or under Kenneth Shinneberry, on Facebook at DYC Studios, Instagram at Dussel York City Studios, and Twitter at DYC Studios 212, at YouTube, Dussel York City Studios, Medium, Dussel York City Studios.medium.com. And I stream live weekly on Behance every Sunday starting at 3 p.m. in German time, unless my wife wants me to do something else. But you know what? It is super cool. So if your students are interested in art, or you're interested in art and really want to learn, hey, jump on there, watch me. Joseph is a streamer too, and Shauna and several other people as well too. So come check us out live on Behance. So, all right, I think that's it. I think I pushed through that really quick. But if you guys ever have any questions about how to promote or network, no matter how old you are, how old your students are, connect with me on LinkedIn. Ask me questions, man. I'm completely open to that. Cool. Whew. I think I flew through that. All right. Thanks,
wow.
Clara.
That was amazing. Like, it just going through it so fast. And thank you for sharing all these different tidbits. I know that it can be scary sometimes to promote your own work, and just taking that first step of getting on social media channels, sharing the work that you're doing with students, starting to network, it truly does open some really incredible doors. So yes, this is, I think, my favorite image from the presentation of overcoming imposter syndrome. It's something that I know many of us have as we're going into a new role or trying to start something new within our career. So thank you again, Kenneth, so much for joining us. And be sure to check out Kenneth's live stream on Behance every week, every Sunday. Great show, a lot of people joining in. So for your creativity talk.
Bonus time. Did I just say bonus? I believe I just said bonus. Are you guys ready for a couple more tidbits of inspiration? I think you are. Now, a couple months prior to the Adobe For Education Summit, I was actually asked to take part on a panel discussion on their YouTube channel. How cool is that? A few of us got together, we talked about reflections on leadership through creativity and education, which I think is an intriguing topic in itself. I was asked to speak about my journey from being a creative to being an influencer to being an educator. This also included my ideology on creating content, which has helped pave the way on how I create content for a class and how I actually manage my classroom. I want to again thank Clara and Leona for doing such an amazing job. Make sure you guys visit the Adobe For Education YouTube channel and give them a subscribe. Also, if you guys did like this video, then click the like button. If you found it inspirational and you enjoyed it, click the subscribe button as well. Now here's that bonus content that I promised you guys. Again, I hope you guys enjoy it, and thanks.
For those who are tuning in and sharing your thoughts and your insights. We have one last speaker for you today, so please join me in welcoming Kenneth Schneeberry. So Kenneth is joining us all the way from Germany, and he owns Dussel York City Studios and shares his expertise at the Digital Career Institute in Germany. So Ken will share his journey from creative to influencer to educator, and is also an incredible live streamer and is very frequently on Adobe Live and on Behance. So Kenneth, I'm going to add you to the stream and hand it off to you.
All right, thank you. It's a pleasure to be here today and to share the stage with so many inspirational people. And I think you're going to see a lot of commonalities between my story and theirs as well too. So I'm kind of glad that I'm going last, because you'll be able to go, oh yeah, this sums things up kind of good. So I'm going to talk to you today a little bit about how I went from creative to influencer to educator. All right. So the first question you guys might ask, okay, who is Ken? Well, as a student, I was your classic overachiever. You know, if a teacher gave me an assignment, I would probably hand in 2 to 3, 4 projects. You could definitely ask Chris Harris, my digital imaging professor. I would always hand in more than what was expected. And even my 5th grade teacher would probably tell you the same thing. Classic. That was just who I am, and that's who I am today, and I don't think I'll ever change. And I think I kind of owe that to my teachers that I've had over the years, that I have that kind of mentality. As an adult, I've decided that I don't like to be classified as this or that. I believe that it's important to continue learning and kind of grow, because if you don't continue growing, you plateau. And I think as a creative, you always have to move up that ladder, so to speak. And for another example, I also don't like to be pigeonholed, which is something that they do in Germany. Usually here, the old saying is, you learn one thing and that's what you do till you die. But that mentality I see is changing. And for example, I do a little bit of everything. I'm not a generalist. When I do things, I try to be an expert in everything that I do. But I was told once that a writer couldn't be an illustrator and an illustrator couldn't be a writer. I'm like, yeah, guess what? That's false. You can do whatever you want to do. You know, don't let people hold you back, and don't let people pigeonhole you into one thing. You know, if you're interested in more things, hey, experiment, grow. That's what it's all about. And as a creative, again, I'm never going to stop growing, and I'm never going to stop learning. Even today, I've learned a lot today, and I'm going to put that to use in what I'm doing with my class and my students as well. All right. Also, I have my creator partner in crime. Other people who've been to Adobe events know my dog, Rue. So he gets a nice little shout out right there. But I'm going to give you a little bit about my journey. And this is a very simplified journey. If you go to my LinkedIn, it's huge. It's massive. It's crazy. But in 1994, I started using Photoshop. That's crazy. That's right. I'm dating myself right there. All right. Then in 2000, I moved to New York to work on my first movie, which was Julie Johnston, that featured Courtney Love, Kurt Cobain's wife. And I really kind of did film, TV, and advertising for 13 years in New York City, and I loved it. And just like Penny mentioned, I think New York and working in this kind of creative scene, I learned the importance of deadlines. I learned the importance of being a leader because I was trained to be a assistant director and also a production manager as well too, and a production coordinator. So I gained that experience as a leadership early on in my career. In 2011, I became the technical English instructor at Ezra, and Ezra is the premier film academy in Paris. They allow their students to come to New York and study for a semester, or well, 2 semesters, and I did that, and I really loved it. So that was my first dive into education. And then in 2012, I moved to Europe, where I would eventually become an influencer and a full-time educator. All right, so inspiring the community. So when producing events and speaking at conferences, I formed 3 simple principles. And the first one is to educate and inform. I love to share information that people can, take with them. So I like to educate and inform. I think that's very important. And I think you need to do it in a way that's entertaining, because that's what makes it more memorable. If people can remember something and they have a little laugh here and there, then you know what? They're going to remember that for life. And I like to inspire and challenge. And I say not just inspire, I say challenge, because even when I'm streaming on Behance, for example, when I'm showing how to do something in Illustrator, I want people to take what I'm showing them and put it to use and do it 10 times better than what I'm doing. Because if they can come back to me and say, hey, Ken, check this out, what I did with what I learned from you, then that's going to make me happy. That makes my day. And so these principles also would later serve as my method for content creation as well as teaching. So educate, inform, entertain, and inspire and challenge. All right. So what happened because of my commitment to inspiring the community? Well, quite a bit. And this is how I became an influencer. I became a producer of the Behance portfolio reviews in Germany. I produced over 18 events featuring 44 plus speakers. Oh my goodness, it was amazing. Got into the Adobe influencer program for the DACH region for Germany, Switzerland, and Austria. I think I'm the only foreigner in that group, which is crazy cool. I'm also an Adobe ACP, an Adobe AEL, an Adobe ACE, and now I am a mentor on the Discord channel for the Adobe Creative Careers. So if you guys haven't heard of Discord, make sure you check that out and tell your students to check that out as well. So big shout out to them. I'm also a 2-time conference producer for Adobe here in Germany. I've been a lecturer and instructor for the Adobe Generation Professional Program and Adobe edX back when they were doing live courses. Special thank you to Greg for that. That's how I learned a lot about streaming and creating online content as well. So Greg, definitely owe you big time. I've created content for the Adobe Abendschule. I stream live on Behance every week for the Adobe AEL. I'm a Wacom evangelist. I was the curator of the Wacom Gallery on Behance from 2014 to 2020, where I was showcasing a new artist every 8 hours on Behance. How cool is that? I got to see so many incredible talents. And unfortunately, they canceled that subscription. So that's not happening anymore, but it was an amazing time in my life. I've also been a writer for Advanced Photoshop Magazine and Photoshop Creative Magazine, which were 2 of my favorite magazines as well. And I'm an influencer for BenQ, TechSmith, XP Pen, Clip Studio Paint, and now Sense Labs, something brand new. And, I've been doing all this while doing marketing and PR. And this is not even the tip of the iceberg. I can tell you, if people go to my LinkedIn, they're going to oh my God, you have like an Adobe Bible at the front of your LinkedIn. It's crazy. So, and now I teach marketing at the Digital Career Institute. And just to give you a little backstory of what the Digital Career Institute is, it started several years ago as a school for refugees, became popular. They started doing web dev and they brought in online marketing. Now I'm teaching the marketing. And now they have Amazon AWS. They open the doors to all internationals and Germans living in Germany. So I have a group of 10 amazing students that are about to finish and graduate. Next week, they have their final presentations. And if any of you guys are really interested in attending that, I can share the link with you guys. Just send me a message. It's going to be really brilliant because they've worked with partner companies over the past year to work with their marketing. And everything that I've seen them do has been brilliant. They are an amazing group of students, and I know they're going to do well. All right. So from community development, I learned the most important thing when it comes to e-learning is to be genuine, authentic, and humanistic. And my students will tell you that I preach this on a daily basis, and that's partly because we're teaching marketing. But I also feel that, as, a person doing community development and teaching, it's very important to be genuine, be true to who you are, and be honest with what you're teaching, and be human about things, be understanding, be relatable to your students. I always go the distance. If my students need to reach me and get a hold of me after hours, they can. And I guess that's kind of me being American. But, I want to be there for them, and I want to be human, and I want to show that I care about their success. And I think that I've demonstrated that. And these are the three things that, you need to do when you're doing marketing or you're doing content creation as well. So it comes pretty naturally. And how I manage my class, I think this is pretty interesting. So I started with my class and I set the tone. Now, some of the other classes, they have freelancers, and each freelancer takes on a different module. Guess what? I do the entire year, and there's only 2 marketing teachers out of DCI that do this. So to me, it was important to set the tone of my class so they understand how things work, how I work, and they can kind of feed off who I am. And this brings me to leading by example, because I do want them to feed off who I am. For example, my students know that I'm an overachiever. They know that they can come to me for anything. They've come to me and asked me for, hey, can you create a module on content marketing? Or can you create a better module on branding? And I said, yeah, I can do that. And you know what? I would produce those modules and they got added to the curriculum. Now, my students kind of fed on that. And I remember Danita coming to me, who's one of my all-star students. She goes, Ken, we fed on you leading by example. So you being an overachiever makes us want to be an overachiever. Encourage exploration. I only teach 4 days a week. That's full time though, for my school, from 9:30 a.m. till about 5 p.m. And I can only teach so much during the day. So I always want my students to continue to learn and explore. If there's something you're interested in, a topic that I've talked about, then hey, get on YouTube, look on Google, whatever, get out there and explore. And also I keep my Zoom room 24 hours a day open. And 2 of my students that I met up with said that they were in Zoom on Saturday working on their final presentations. And they said another group came in right afterwards. So it's great that, I'm encouraging my students to continue learning outside of class, because that's very important. And the 4th thing is to dream big, because, I don't like people telling me that I can't do something. And I think my students have kind of gained that as well too. Dream big, don't let people squash your dreams, and just go for the stars. So that's what I always try to do, is encourage my students to go that extra mile and, do what they want to do in life. All right. And again, the most important thing to me when teaching is transparency. I think transparency is key. So my students know that I'm honest about everything, and that I am completely always going to share them 100% the truth of what's going on, and give them my thoughts and my opinions. Okay, so now I just want to end on some awesome inspiration. Some of these things I usually do in the beginning of my speeches, but I think these are going to be really awesome for you guys as well too. I hope you guys enjoy them. The first thing that I like to tell creatives when I'm speaking at conferences is you never know when or where your talent will be discovered. And this is why you should get out there and promote yourself. Get out there and network, attend events. I know we're in Corona right now, but sometimes there's some live or online events like this where you can chat with other people and get to know people, or, other online events. And then when we get back into, after Corona, hey, go out there to those events. If there's an event in your town for creatives, hey, get out there, go meet other people. It's important. You never know who you're going to talk to, where you're going to meet them, and who's going to discover your talent. Okay. All right. The second thing I like to teach people is you are your own marketing and PR manager. And usually at the beginning of speeches, I like to go around the room and ask people who they are, kind of like what we do as a teacher at the first day of class anyways. But I always have my reasons for that. And the second reason is always you are your own marketing PR manager. And think about this. When you started school back in, I don't know, kindergarten, first grade, whatever, preschool, you got out on the playground, you had to market yourself to other people. You had to make friends. Hey, marketing came from all the way back then. You already have those marketing skills and those PR skills. You just need to hone them a little bit better. And another quick story is that when I was about to move to Europe, my wife's boss, and I don't want to say what he did, but he was a VP for a company. The wife was also a VP for a company, said, hey, Ken, you should be able to connect with other people as well, higher ups, presidents, CEOs, CTOs, whatever. And I said, no. He goes, but you talk to directors, you talk to producers on a daily basis, you can do this. And so when I moved to Germany, I needed to force myself to become a marketing person. And I can't remember who said it today, but I think it might have been Penny or one of the other ladies said that, it's important to market yourself every day. And so I say 5 to 10 to 30 minutes a day, whether it's commenting on a post, writing a new connection on LinkedIn, whatever, getting out there, promoting who you are and what you're doing. And there's no time to start this, start as soon as possible. You know, the earlier you start promoting who you are and what you do, the better off you'll be. All right. The other thing that I like to share to people is to learn to crawl, learn to walk, learn to run, learn to jump, learn to fly. Never stop learning, because that's the only way you'll soar. So to me, you know, never be afraid to stop learning. Realize that you can learn from anyone. I learned from my students. Another good example is I went to a school and my friend was an international teacher at an international school, an art teacher. And I visited the studio, not when her students were in session, but I visited the studio and I saw their work. And there was a painting that it looked like, you know, a person who's been painting for 50 years and created. So to me, I can learn something from anybody at any age, you know, whatever, you know, but I'm always wanting to learn. So learning is very important. And my final thought that I want to share to you comes from this guy. I think you guys all know who this guy is. I guess in the chat, if you guys were to write his name right now, you guys would probably be able to name him right off the bat. But yes, this is Andy Warhol. And this is one quote that I really, really love. So don't think about making art, just get it done. Let everyone else decide if it's good or bad, whether they love it or hate it. While they're deciding, make even more art. And for me, this is very important as a creative because, you know, people have this fear about getting their artwork out there. And then also there's that fear of the imposter syndrome as well, too, that also kind of stifles people in their promoting themselves. But, you know, all it takes is one person to like your artwork. So let's say we have an audience of 10 people, and this is usually like an example that I like. You know, 5 people might hate what you're doing. Who cares about them? Forget them, right? 5 people might really enjoy what you're doing. 4 of those people might really love it. And 3 of those people might come to you and go, hey, you know what? I would like to utilize your talents and skills. So, hey, get out there, show your artwork, show your creativity. Never start too late. Get it out there now, because, you know, all it takes is that one person to discover who you are and discover your talents. And to me, that's the most important thing. And so that quote from Andy Warhol is usually the quote that I always wrap things up with, because I think this is something very, very important for everybody to learn. So I want to thank you guys for listening to me. I want to say, hey, let's connect on LinkedIn, where I have 6,000 followers and growing. Yes, super love that. And on Behance, I am streaming weekly on Sundays, usually around 3 p.m. German time. I think that's really early in the morning in LA. But it's really nice. It's really fun. I'm getting quite a bit of views there, and the videos are there afterwards. So if you miss the stream, they are still there and they serve as tutorials afterwards. So if you're really interested in checking out what I'm doing there, check that out as well too. You can also follow me on Facebook at DYC Studios. On Instagram, you can look me up at Dussel York City Studios, on Twitter at DYC Studios 212. And on Medium at Dussel York City Studios, where I kind of nerd out and talk about everything that I love, from art to creativity to tech and all those kind of things. And if you look, I'm also on YouTube under Dussel York City Studios as well too, and you'll find a lot of things there as well. So cheers, and again, thank you. I've really enjoyed being part of this today.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Kenneth, for sharing all that with us, and the continued importance of being able to be, you know, promoting yourself, being your own PR manager. And we have some great comments in here. Andrew says, great presentation. Thank you. Georgina says, brilliant job of promoting your brand and your products. And I'm chiming in there as well. Like, I love your live stream and all that you've been doing within Adobe Live. Diane says, fantastic. Thank you so much. Namita, joining us from India, says, you motivated me again. So thank you. And a lot of great comments in here. Excellent. And a lot of other great comments about practical advice, and made rooms for students with Zoom Cafe, collaborative express rooms. So loving that it's all their great ideas for us to bring back. But thank you again, Ken, so much. And actually, that is our last presentation for today. So I'm actually going to bring back on, for any of the educators that are still with us that presented today, I'm going to bring them back on the screen. So really quickly, we'll have Hulda Black, Penny Ann Dolan, Georgina, Abby. Thank you again so much for joining us today. And just as a recap of everything. We hope you've enjoyed hearing from our community of creative education leaders from the Adobe Education Leader Program. We explored our first steps as creative leaders with Georgina, seizing opportunities and thinking like an entrepreneur with Penny Ann Dolan, the importance of networking with Dr. Hulda Black, collaborative student projects with Abby, Guido, and then staying inspired with Ronaldo Lawrence, and owning our own journey with Kenneth Shinaberry. So please join us next week, same time, same place on Adobe for Education Facebook and YouTube channels. We're going to continue to explore this topic of leadership within creativity and education with some more incredible Adobe Education leaders. So thank you again for tuning in to this special edition of our live stream, and we look forward to seeing you next week. Bye, everyone.
Again, thank you to Adobe for having me. It was really great to take part in these events. Again, if you enjoyed these, make sure you visit the Adobe for Education YouTube channel, and also make sure you subscribe to my channel as well, because there is more inspiration to come. And like I always say, happy creating.